welcome to my channel and tell all kinds of stories here. So if you're into that, please subscribe, like. So I am back with another video. Notice you guys like drama. So this story, I am going to go back to when I used to work at Sonic. So I'm not going to talk much during the intro. I'm just going to get right to it. And I am going to be drinking, again, just water, okay? So if you guys want to drink with me or anything you guys want, go get them and let's just get started. So this story is going to be about my general manager at Sonic. He was pretty messy. I mean, we're going to talk about him a little bit and about why I quit. So they kind of go like hand in hand. It's about him and a lot of things that happened in the middle. It ended up with me quitting because all of those things kind of accumulated. I'm gonna start at the very beginning when I first started at Sonic. So I remember after quitting Wendy's, it did take me about, I don't know, a while, like maybe almost a year to get another job. So I was looking everywhere I could. I was just making applications and trying to find a job. I didn't really need one at this time. I was with my grandparents, so I didn't need a job, but I wanted a job to get my own things. So like I said, I started looking for a job, and finally I applied at Sonic, and I think like within the next day I got a call, and it's the general manager, and he tells me, hey, I looked at your application. I think you're a good candidate to work with us. You could come in today to interview. And I was like, oh wait, today, like now? And he's like, yeah, like I don't know, at 5, if you can come in at 5 and interview you and see if maybe you're interested in the position. And girl, it was like 4, so I literally just had 1 hour to get dressed and put on makeup and look decent to go to this interview. So I told him, yeah, I'll be there. And that's it. I got ready and I just put on something, put on anything and just did my makeup super fast, and that's it. Like I left. So I ended up going to the interview, and the general manager, we're just gonna call him Pete. So Pete tells me, hello, nice to meet you. My name is Pete. And of course, I was like, nice to meet you. My name is Noemi. And he starts asking me all of the typical interview questions. For example, where you worked at, are you a team leader? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Like all these typical questions you ask someone when you're interviewing them. And he ended up telling me about the uniform, and he's like, you're gonna wear this, you're gonna wear that. And I looked at him and I was like, I'm gonna wear it. And he's like, yeah, he's like, welcome to the team. I think you're a perfect candidate for Sonic, and yeah, like I would love for you to work with us. And I was like, really? Like, oh my gosh, when do I start? He tells me tomorrow, and I'm like, perfect. It's like, I'm ready, let's do this. And I had to buy the non-slip shoes, so I bought the shoes, I got ready. Then the next day I went in and everything was for the most part normal. Pete was fine. I mean, nothing out of the ordinary. He was fine. He was, like a manager. I was getting along with everyone there. I was, trying to get to know them. They were trying to get to know me. So it was just like that stage and where you're new and you're trying to get to know everybody. So one day, I think it was like a pretty busy day, and every day, I don't know anywhere else, but at Sonic, specifically Sonic, they do try to reach a goal. So, for example, like their goal that day is $4,000 or $3,000, whatever, whatever goal set up for that day. So, one day, Pete comes up to me and he tells me, hey, I'll bet that within 1 hour, we're gonna hit goal. And I told him, yeah, like, bet. Just kind of playing around. And he's like, okay. He's like, well, if you lose, you're gonna have to wash my car, and you're gonna have to do it while wearing little shorts and a bikini top. And girl, I looked at him and I was like, are you serious? Like, what? And he looks at me kind of like, I don't know, nervous, but then he tried to like break off the tension by laughing. So he just started laughing, and I kind of looked at him and I started laughing. So at first, I didn't take this serious. I was like, I don't know, like maybe that's how he jokes around, like he's just playing around. But it was just weird because he used to joke around with all the girls there, right? But like stuff like that, like very sexual stuff. And it was just weird to me. I don't know. It was just weird, okay? At first, I didn't question it, but then I started kind of questioning it because it progressively got worse. So one day, and I did mention her before. What did I call her? Daisy. So Daisy, I did mention her before. She kind of made up a nickname for me. And I didn't mind. I mean, she's a girl. Honestly, she could call me whatever she wants. Plus, like, to me, like a manager calling an employee a nickname that's inappropriate is weird. It's different if an associate does that, someone that you're equal with. But if a manager does that, it's just weird to me, okay? But anyways, Daisy ended up calling me Geku or Gechi. And I'm gonna explain. I know it sounds all weird, but Geku is pretty much like he is big, but Geshi is like big boobs. Kind of like what it translates to. So she ends up calling me these things, and at first I kind of just started laughing, and I was like, "Thank you," like I know I look good, and it was kind of just like a joke. But then my general manager Pete started calling me these things, and at first I was kind of like, "Huh." Like he would just like call me these things and like joke around and laugh about it. But it was just kind of uncomfortable to me, and I was like, I don't know, it just feels weird. My general manager is someone that's supposed to respect me. But whatever, right? So let's just move on. So, hold up, I need a drink. So then this started to happen. Like I mentioned, he would play around with all the girls like this. He would play around like that with me, and it was just kind of like that, I don't know, toxic environment. One day I remember it wasn't a busy day. I think it was during the week. And one day we're just, working. And I am gonna kind of explain the layout. I have mentioned it before, but I'm just gonna mention it again. So you could go in through the front door or through the side door. Let's just say we go in through the front door. So if you go into the front door, right away, it's a very tiny space. So to your left, you're gonna have your drive-through area. To your right, you're gonna have your car hop station, and I already kind of explained what that is, but you just take out the food to the people that are parked in the stalls. So that's car hopping. And then of course your drive-through. And then if you just stand in the front, you are basically like, there's a table, and then there's screens on top, and then there's like plates on the table. The cooks the food in that table, and the general manager is basically the one that's controlling everything, and trying to put the foods in bags and putting ketchup and mustard, and then sending them off to either the drive-through area or the car hop area. So pretty much like the layout. If you start going straight, it's the kitchen and then the office. At this point, Pete was always in the front. He was always directing everybody. He was always putting the food in the bag and making sure that everything runs smoothly. Well, that day he was there at the beginning, but then all of a sudden he disappeared. He just went back to his office, and it was kind of weird and rare when he did that. But sometimes he had to deal with like the headquarters of Sonic and like people above him. So he would go to his office and deal with them. Well, then all of a sudden, we're working, and then I just see Pete walking out, getting into his car, and driving off. And we literally, okay, literally, everybody just kind of just like stared at each other, and we're like, what happened? And no one knew what happened. Everyone was like, I don't know what's going on. Everyone was so confused. No one was directing us and know what order went where. It was all just super confusing. One of us did ended up standing in the middle and like leading everybody on, but it was just, we were all confused, okay? We didn't know what happened, why he leave. He didn't say a word. He just left. So Daisy has his phone number, and she's like, I'm gonna call him. Like, we need to know where he's at. We're all alone. There's no supervisor here with us. So I'm gonna call him, see what's up. She ends up calling him. He picks up and he says, I'm done. I don't want to work here. I am done. It's just too much stress. It's too much of everything. I can't do it anymore. Like, I'm done and I'm leaving. And I mean, they talked, and she kind of talked to him, and he ended up buying some smokes. And then say he came back. And girl, like, that day it was weird. It was, we were all panicking. He literally just left us in the middle of the shift, okay, in the middle of the shift. But after that, after he almost quit, I don't know, things got a little weird between us. I just felt like in him making jokes, sexual jokes, I guess you could say, um towards me. It's just started getting weird. Like, he would get in these, I don't even know how to explain, like he would just get mad at me. Like, it was just too much pressure. He expected me to do everything and do things perfectly by myself. And I know it's like obviously possible, but it was just too much pressure he was putting on me. If I did something, like not even a big deal, but he would get mad at me, and it was just conflict and conflict, and it was just too much for me, too much to handle. And I guess maybe it was because he was under pressure, and I get it, but there's no point for him to take it out on me. So finally, one day I was at drive through, and I remember it was a pretty busy day. I was in drive through, I was trying to move the line as fast as you can. Obviously, when you're in drive through, your job is to move that line, and make drinks and charge. There's a lot going on in the drive-through. So in the drive-through, it was just super busy, and I remember that day someone called off. Something happened that someone couldn't come in, so we were short on people, and Pete was working with us, and he was like trying to help us out, I guess. But it ended up like I was in drive through. I don't remember exactly what happened, but I know he did something to me. Like, he said something. He got mad at me or something, that it was so dumb. Okay, so dumb that I don't know why he got mad at me, okay? But he did. And he got mad at me, and he like whole scene in front of everybody, that I was like, okay, fine. I am done with you. I am through with you. I was charging, I was doing all these things. He makes that scene, and then it's time for my break. My break, I go in my car, And I called my grandparents and I was crying to them and I was telling them, like, I am over this. I am so done with Pete being such a butt towards me that I was like, I'm done. Like, I want to quit. And they told me, you know what, like, do it. Like, we support you. You could do this. And I was like, okay, like, I'm doing it. So what I did, and I don't recommend you doing this, please always put your 2 weeks because it makes it easier for you to find another job, okay? Especially if you just quit like that. But what it did, I went inside. I was supposed to come back, but instead I went inside. We always carry like changers and a wallet with money. I grabbed the changer, I grabbed the wallet, and I gave it to him. And he looks at me and he was like, "Are you sure?" And I look at him and I was like, "Yeah, I'm sure." And he just kind of like, he just bows his head and goes like this. And he's like, "Okay." So, girl, I ended up just walking away, giving him, the wallet, whatever, property of Sonic, and I walked away. And I was like, I'm done with this. After that, I don't know what happened. I don't know if he's still working there. I think he's not. Last thing I've heard is that he's not there anymore. Pete isn't there anymore. But, he was just so messy. It was just so awkward with him calling me these things, making sexual jokes like that. Like, and not just that, it was just more of just the way he handled things wasn't good. And these things that just stressed me out and pushed me to the edge. It wasn't healthy. And I wasn't like, honestly, I was like, I'm done. And he didn't do this with anyone else, okay? He did this just with me. And I couldn't anymore. It was just too much that I ended up leaving. So that's it. That's my story. I hope you guys like it. And thank you so much for watching. Again, if you like my stories, please subscribe and like my videos. Thank you so much for watching.